Hi, welcome to Dudes of Divination. We're going to run some Pathfinder today. We're going to do the 3rd level adventure, Feast of Ravenmore. I'm pretty excited for it. You should be too, and so should the 4 of you. Stick around. Hi, I'm gonna DM, and we are playing Binder. We're gonna play the module Feast of Ravenmore. We've got some new faces, and these guys didn't know what their characters were until they showed up today, and I handed them to them and said, hey, here's your character for tonight. So it's kind of cool. They are just now kind of going over them a little bit. So we'll start. I'll just kind of give you a little background of these characters. Nick is going to be playing Elric Estraza, the human cardcaster magus. He comes from Riddleport. He was born to 2 Varisian heroers and traveled around with them, learning the ways of the hero deck and fortune telling and stuff. But he sought more out of life than that, so he took his talents to Magnamar to achieve fame and glory. And then we have Quinn Lunaria, CJ, who is new to the channel. Hello, CJ. Thank you for playing.
Thank you for inviting me.
Quinn is a human cleric of Desna. He was born an orphan and left on the steps of the temple to Irori in Sandpoint. As a child there, he studied under the monastic traditions and learned their ways of fighting, but he, not really given a choice in the matter, didn't have a whole lot of interest in being a monk. So when he was of age, he took up his trusty staff and he set out on his own to discover the world for himself. On his way, he found Desna, agreed with her teachings, and has since devoted his life to her. He has found his way to Magnamar as well, as most Varisian adventurers do in their careers, and again, is just kind of looking to get his foot in the door as an adventurer. All of these adventurers are very young. Then, continuing this way, we have Baron Ironblood, the dwarf war priest. Baron is from Janderhof, the dwarven sky citadel in Varisia, and he is from the Ironblood clan, who are very adventurous. They have adventure in their blood. So it wasn't long into his life before he set out on his own as well, seeking the fame and glory that Magnamar has to offer, being one of the larger cities in Varisia. On his way, though, it was a very far journey, he got lost. And being lost, he began to pray, and Desna answered his prayers by showing him in the night sky the direction that he was going. So he spent many nights gazing up at the stars and finding his way to Magnamar, and has decided to reward Desna's help by becoming a war priest in her name. Lastly, we have Shiranix Lathion, who goes by Nyx. He is an elven winter witch. He's a snow elf from Irison, and he is from a bloodline of winter witches, but he has the misfortune of being a male in a bloodline of winter witches. So he left his family. He left his family to prove himself as a caster. He has learned much from them and hopes to apply that in other things and grow as a spellcaster. So, you've all found your way to Magnamar, which is a fairly large coastal port city in Varisia. It's in the southwestern corner, if you're looking at the Varisian map. And I have the Varisian map on the wall, not that you can see it, but there it is for the benefit of the people at the table. And underneath Magnamar, there's a lot of, like, goings on. There's, like, ancient evils down there that sometimes will find their way up to the surface, and then people are needed to battle them back. Particularly, there is a group of Darrow underneath Magnamar, and these Darrow dug their way up into a noblewoman's basement. The noblewoman ran into the street in tears, screaming that the Darrow were in her home, and ran through the streets, basically gathering everyone that she could, and the four of you, through hearing this, all decided to, like, take up the call. You all arrived together, not knowing who each other were, but you were able to beat these Darrow back down into the darkness that they came from. And then you were rewarded by this woman with a Cloak of Resistance. So each of you has a matching Cloak of Resistance that has stars on the back of it, fittingly for followers of Desna, which you all are. And since then, you have just been traveling together. You all came to the town not knowing each other. You met each other. You all seemed like like-minded folk. And you were hoping that in helping this woman, you would get a fair amount of notoriety. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened for you yet. It's been slow going, and Quinn has taken up as a cook in one of the local inns, and the rest of you are staying in the inn, and Quinn is basically cooking in the inn to pay for your rooms there.
You're very welcome.
Having spent some time in Magnamar and helping that poor noblewoman, you have been holed up in the local inn, just sort of awaiting the next adventure to come to you. You've heard so many great things about Magnamar and how this is where the adventurers go, this is where the adventure begins, this is where the adventurers want to be, but your time here has been rather mundane. That is until you receive a summons from Jaminda Aniki, who is the cousin of the noblewoman that you had helped previously. So it would seem that your word of you is spreading just a bit more slowly than you would hope. There's a lot of heroes that come in and out of Magnamar, and you're still new in your adventures and rather unrefined, so you're nothing special, but this could change that. Jaminda Aniki has a problem on her hands. She discovered that the small village of Ravenmore hasn't paid its taxes in several years. Their taxes are never large, so it is easily overlooked. But now they've racked up a debt to Magnamar that is 500 gold pieces. Which is a fair chunk of change for non-adventurers. She didn't want to go to her superiors with this news, afraid that she would be blamed for allowing these mispayments to go on for so long. So she had contacted a tax collector, her brother-in-law, Elias Kyle. She had been receiving communications with him. She last heard from him in Galduria, which is a small town along the road to Ravenmore from Magnamar. But it's been 2 weeks since she's gotten that. From then, she's heard absolutely nothing. And now she is totally convinced that reporting to her superiors is going to get her fired, because not only has she lied to them, but she's hired a tax collector to go there, and now there is a missing tax collector. So she heard about you from her cousin, and the fact that you're not yet well known is key. She's hoping to send you there so that you can do the investigation, report back to her on what happened, and also collect this tax money. Because even though Elias has not returned, that's not necessarily paramount. They need this tax money because the government of Magnamar has now noticed Ravenmore owes us quite a bit of money. Is there any questions that anybody has for Jaminda?
Maybe not for Jaminda, but how far away is... Oh my god. Ravenmore from Ravenmore.
It's a rather safe journey because you're traveling on roads. There's plenty of stops in between. But still, even then, on foot, it's going to take you about 7 days to get there.
What's in this for us if we complete this task?
She says, I'm paying you from my own pockets. I can't have the Magnamarian Council offer you anything because that would require telling them what I'm doing. And unfortunately, I can't give you much. If you can return to me with the 500 gold, I will personally give each of you 200 gold pieces from my own bank account. And perhaps the city of Magnamar would have something else to throw in to make it a little more worth your while.
I'm going to whip off my cooking apron, and say, it sounds like a quest for me.
I quit.
Tell my boss I quit. I'm going on the road.
One condition. You go tell my boss I'm not showing up to work anymore.
Yeah, the guy's a real dick.
She tells you that another reason that she contacted you is because she knows that the village is small, but they're known. It's well known that they have a strong faith, and that Desna is their patron. She knows of the four of you being worshippers of Desna, so she's hoping that they'll be a little bit more receptive to people that share their faith than they were to Elias, or so she assumes, because he has not been back.
Sounds like a plan to me.
What does Elias Kyle look like?
She says Elias is of Ulfin descent. He's short, stocky, red hair, blunt, and ugly features.
Unfortunate.
Yes, the result of a few too many tavern scuffles. He has patchy facial scruff, and he likes a strong drink.
At least your only stepbrother and sister.
In-laws. And removed. My sister has since passed.
Brother cousins.
No. not at all.
That's actually not how family trees work. So you know.
You know what he looks like? What is,
That's the lady.
Yeah, that's the lady we're talking.
Do we have a deadline to complete this?
Yeah.
No. However long it takes you to get there, retrieve the taxes, and return.
Now I know the travel to Ravenmore is relatively easy. You said about 7 days on foot. When we get to Ravenmore, should we expect anything? Is there anything sinister lurking in Ravenmore?
Ravenmore is a small farming village. I wouldn't suspect anything. Their folk are a bit strange, but it's just they're unrefined. They don't have many of the amenities that we have.
So they should not be hostile.
No.
So they're Amish. Sorry.
More or less. is a very good.
That's what I was
good
picturing.
description of them. Yes.
I think Nyx is ready to go whenever you guys are. Raven perched on his shoulder.
Quinn is quite ready.
Point the way.
Just have to tell my boss I quit.
We'll send an
Tell him you're on break, because we'll be
I
back.
may need to buy a wagon to haul all this ale I'll need for the journey.
They should have drinks there.
It's 7 days there, though.
There are
We're
many
drinking in
towns
between.
on the way.
Yeah, there's towns on the way.
It shouldn't be. There should really only be like 1 day of travel that you're going to need to sleep outside.
So bring like 3 days of rations, I'm thinking, a piece. That way
Yeah, whatever.
you have one plus who knows what happens.
I can whip us up something good.
You just steal it from your restaurant, make a big meal, and then just quit. Hey, thanks for the food. I'm out of here.
I might just do that.
So we steal food from our restaurant.
Yes.
You're supposed to be a cleric.
You can just keep my. Well, it's a bartering system. I'll just keep my last couple silver pieces that you're supposed to pay me.
Sure.
I was good to them. I cooked very well.
You did. You learned some very solid cooking skills. You have like a +8 or 9 in profession cooks.
I do. +8, yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm quite talented.
The journey to Ravenmore is as uneventful as she described. You stop in a few towns along the way, and it takes you 7 days to get there, by your estimation. On the 7th day, the road kind of splits off. There's the main well-traveled road, and then there's like a dirt, like muddy road leading to the northeast, and that is your way to Ravenmore.
The dirt road.
Yes. On this road, the forest grows thicker, and something that you notice is the influx of mosquitoes. You're finding that you have to be swatting them constantly, and you've never seen bugs like this.
I quit. I hate mosquitoes.
You also see some strange things that you're not used to seeing near Magnamar, like the woods is heavily populated by giant ticks.
Man-eaters.
Does any of this seem magical?
No, none of it's magical. It's just
weird.
it's just more wild, and there's a lot more vermin.
Do they see to be like in one location where they're?
No, it's just
everywhere?
in this thickly forested area. There's a lot of mosquitoes, and you see just the canopy of the trees is just crawling with these giant, like dog-sized ticks.
What? What?
Jeez.
No.
Yeah.
But they seem to be pretty unhostile towards us, though.
Yeah, no, they're just living. They're just doing their thing.
Okay. Don't piss off the bugs.
Good call.
Don't need to be fighting giant ticks.
Yeah, no thanks.
But the forest sort of opens up into these fields, and you can see the tops of buildings ahead of you. There's tall grass on either side, and you can tell that this is just now the road that's going to lead you into the small, unassuming village of Ravenmore. There's only like 12 buildings in the whole thing that you can count from your more advantageous position. And at this point, I would like everyone to make a perception check.
I have that.
For the record, who is the talker of the group? Or do we not have a talker?
Quinn is a diplomatic one,
Not I.
and Nyx has intimidate.
No.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, Nyx.
13.
16.
6.
is not hard to hear. So you all hear it. Some just clearer than others. You hear a young boy's voice calling out. And he has a very distinct drawl about him. And he says, "Applesauce! Come here, boy! Come here, boy!" Followed by whistling. As if he were perhaps seeking a missing pet. Sounds like it's coming from the tall grass to your left.
Show yourself.
It would appear that he is farther away than just...
Yes, I'll yell it out.
I'm gonna go find the boy.
You yell, and you get a response that says, "Who's there?"
Come and find out for yourself.
Your knights in shining armor. Do you need some help? As I'm trying to find him in the grass.
As you go into the grass, from the other side, a large mosquito-like insect flies out of the grass and just lands on your chest piece.
I'll swat it away.
This is something that you have probably seen before. It's called a sturge. And they're small in creature size. They're small mosquitoes, basically. You know that they will attach and drain blood.
I'll stab it with my star knife.
All right, roll an attack roll.
17.
That is gonna hit, and roll your damage.
4.
Sorry, let me just pull the little sturge up here. Alright, so you take your star knife in your hand and you just stab down at this thing and you put a decent sized cut into it. And it's at that point that this little boy rushes past you and out into view and he says, "Applesauce, no!" And he runs to his sturge and cradles it in his arms and it nuzzles into him lovingly in a very strange and macabre scene.
Does it appear Applesauce is dying?
No, Applesauce is just hurt.
What kind of crazy pets do you carry around in this village?
He says, "Haven't you ever heard of a sturge before? He wasn't gonna hurt nobody."
I've heard of sturges, but I squashed them instead of live with them as a pet.
Just in the back, nodding along.
Yeah, right? Just what's going on?
He says, "Well, this is my pet. And you ain't swatting my pet."
Fair enough. Just keep it away from me.
This boy is very small. He's probably only 7 years old. And he's shaken up at the scene of someone hurting his pet.
So I'm gonna kind of kneel down on one knee next to him, apologize for what our friend did here to Applesauce, and ask the young boy what his name is.
He looks him over. He says, "Well, it looks like he'll be fine, but don't appreciate that.
We'll keep him away."
My name is Ornegard."
As I clean the goo off my knife and sheath it again.
Sorry, what was your name?
Ornegard.
Ornegard.
Ornegard Korza.
And Ornegard, where are your parents?
They live down in the village. It's just me and my pa.
Do you mind taking us to your pa? We're looking for a man.
What kind of a man?
Short, stocky with red hair.
I don't know much, but maybe my pa can help you. He knows everything.
I'd like to intimidate this young boy. If you don't tell me what you know, your sturge is gonna die.
Oh my god! I'll make your
Yeah.
sturgeon my applesauce.
It's a gross applesauce.
Yeah, that's
Oh, God.
He
And I'll feed them to you then.
he like recoils back, and he says, maybe you shouldn't see my pa, and he runs away into the grass.
so I turned to like, really? He was just about to take us to him.
Oh, we can find our own way to the city. It's not far.
He definitely knew more than he was letting on.
That doesn't mean to scare the poor boy.
If you wanted some sturge stew, I can't help it.
That's good for him.
I'm sure.
I'm just gonna pull my holo deck out. I divine that this mission's going to go harder than it needs to be, and then put my deck away.
It's pretty good.
So coming into Ravenmore then on the path. So you head into Ravenmore on the Lamp Black Trail, since the young boy has ran away. It leads down the Lampback River, eventually connecting to the Lost Coast Road, where the Lampback River veers away from the edges of Churlwood. It's the road that you just came off of.
Sure, what is the road we just came off of?
No, Churlwood is the woods that you came out of. The Lampblack Trail is the road you just came out of. The first thing that you reach is the Ravenmoor Ferry. There's 2 ramshackle shacks flanking the Lampback here. Sheds to house a flat-bottom ferry. Tightly drawn ropes across the river. Part of a cranked pulley system that draws the barge across the black water. It doesn't look like much. It is a small raft, but it does look like it is big enough for all of you to fit on. And it's just a simple, like, rope pull, and it gets you across the water.
Is there anyone who mans the operation?
There is a building, but there's nobody standing out in the open.
I'll call out.
Intimidate the building.
No, I'll just be like, shopkeep, members here.
You hear the tapping of a cane before like a hunched man with thin hair comes out. Not from around here, huh?
Golly gee, no we ain't, sir.
Oh, God.
We're looking for some transportation across this here creek.
Well, you found it. If you got the gold.
I'll flip a gold coin at him.
He isn't very fast, but does manage to reach out and catch it. He says, well, dwarf paid his way.
Whoa!
Hey.
Expensive
Just walk
ferry.
by, drop a coin in his hand, back towards the raft.
Thank you.
I'll flip it up to my raven and have my raven fly it and dive bomb it up.
He doesn't seem afraid of the raven at all. In fact, when he takes the coin, he says, fine bird you have there.
I'm sure it makes good applesauce.
Anything interesting going on in these parts the last couple of weeks there?
Always interesting around here. I'm the only one can get you across without alerting the wolf in the water.
Golly gee, what's the wolf in the water?
I'm gonna stop right before the water as I hear that.
The wolf eats children's guts. But it won't stop on an adult either.
Good to know.
He points to his shack, where you see an unusual looking skull nailed to the door. He says, that was the original wolf. Killed him myself. Another one showed up pretty quick.
I was about to say, like, you killed it and you're like, alright, well, we need the wolf back, so I'm going to release him. Remember?
He revived it, put it back.
Took its skull out, put it back in the river, came back to life.
What does it look like? The skull.
It's very deformed. It has like a big cranium with 2 horns, but they're going opposite directions.
Is there a chance I can use knowledge planes or arcana to know what it might be?
Sure.
+9.
Yeah,
All knowledge nature.
You could try knowledge planes to see if it would be like some type of aberration or something that you've...
20.
This does not look like anything that you've seen before.
Alright.
You know, knowledge nature.
Now, how about a knowledge nature check of 17?
Again, still not something that you're familiar with. It looks vaguely like a cow skull.
What?
But it's very strange. It just has a vague resemblance to like a cow's skull.
Well, I've never seen something like that before, so I'd rather not see it at all. Let's
What about knowledge of religion for like
be nice.
religious texts and stuff like that in books mentioning something that would appear to resemble that?
Sure, you could roll it.
12.
Yeah, you have not seen anything quite like this either.
You're not reading the right books.
Yeah,
You gotta read the cow books.
I've just been sticking to dogs and cats.
Well, make sure not to anger your cow fish friend.
He says, points his cane at you. He says, "Just stay out of the water. You should be just fine."
Will do.
And I'll walk over to him and say, "I'm not as fancy as Nick's here, but here's your gold coin." I'll drop it down.
Appreciate it. You'll have to pull yourselves. These old bones can't handle it no more.
What if I give you 2 pieces of gold? Will you be able to pull us?
I'm afraid gold won't increase my strength.
And I'll pat him on the shoulder and say, "I'm just kidding," and then I'm gonna give him a second gold piece.
Appreciate the patronage, kind sir.
Here's looking out, you old geezer.
He says, "Name's Skender. Ravenmore doesn't get too many visitors. What brings the 4 of you here?"
Have you seen a man, elfin of the breed, goes by Elias?
Ginger, short, stocky, ugly feller.
He likes to drink.
I saw the man, yeah. I ferried him in.
You ferry him in, but not us. How's that work?
Well, he paid the ferry toll and found his way into the village.
Pull himself.
Has he left yet?
If he did leave, he didn't ferry himself out.
Has anybody left lately?
Nah, no reason. Got crops around here. Good hunting in the wood.
For ticks.
Do you eat the ticks?
Of course. Stick around for the festival. You'll have to try the legs.
Look forward to it. Maybe you can. I'm a cook myself. You can teach me some recipes.
I don't do the cooking, but maybe somebody can help you.
Alright. Just gonna be over there.
Yeah, I'm just like ready to get out. I'm like, alright, come on, man.
He says, man's missing, huh?
Sure is.
Points to the water. He says, "You know where he most likely is."
It's not your concern who is missing. Get us across this river, old man.
I'll leave you be.
Grab some chaw and play your banjo.
He limps back into his house, or his
As he's walking away, I'll pat him on the shoulder again and kind of walk towards the ferry.
So yeah, the river here is probably about 20 feet across, and it's a rickety old setup, but Does the job.
How deep is it?
It's tough to tell from where you are. You're floating on a raft, so
Yeah.
it's deep enough to hold a raft as it goes across. You ferry yourselves across, and you can see that to your right is like the more residential area. It looks like just some ramshackle homes, along with some fields and crops and such. And the road to your left leads into what appears to be the downtown area, if you can call it that. You're sort of at a fork in the road. One way looks like it just goes to like 4 houses, and the other one looks like it leads actually into the city.
Nix, I think, would go just to the downtown. He figures this guy's probably over a barrel somewhere.
Yeah. Find a local tavern, inn, whatever.
I do agree with that, but I think it wouldn't hurt to also split up. So I'm just gonna kind of wander, if that's all right with you three.
That's cool.
Sure, take the dwarf.
Chat with locals.
I go my own way. No one tells me where to go.
Well, would you like to go this way with me?
Sure, but that's my choice, not his.
All right. So walking into town, it is a backwater little place. The first building that you see appears to be a shop of some sort, and a quick glance in the window tells you that it is like a clothing store.
What kind of clothing is there?
Just handmade, like woven clothing.
Anything that you wouldn't see regular somewhere else?
No, it's just country clothing.
I just wanted to get a souvenir.
If you want to stop in there, you can go ahead.
We'll go in there.
Okay.
Nix will not partake.
All right. Well, we'll just hop over to Elric's turn then within the shop. The shop is filled with simple clothing, cloth, thread, and yarn. A large room and spinning wheel take up most of the shop's back area, along with a cage containing mushfen silkworms.
And do I know what those are?
Silkworms from the mushfens.
Okay.
The mushfens are actually down by Magnamar.
And what would those be used for? Making silk?
Making silk.
Okay. Do I see a shopkeeper in there?
Yeah. You see an old woman sitting at the spinning wheel, and she just gives you a quick smile and continues about her work.
I'm gonna wave. Just looking for souvenir. Passing by.
She says, not from around here, I see.
No. Not at all. Bugs are scary.
A souvenir?
Yeah, a souvenir. Something that I can bring back and would be different than what I would get from where I'm from.
She stands up and kind of walks over to you very slowly. Kind of looks you up and down. She says, I think I could probably weave you some clothes. Dress like one of us.
Take a hat.
I can do a hat. She says, it'll probably take me a day or two. Maybe come back tomorrow.
Will do. Have you seen any other visitors come in looking for clothes lately?
No. We're a quiet town. We don't see very many visitors.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll come back tomorrow.
Looking forward to it. She goes and starts looking through some of her fabrics to pick out some fabric to make a hat for the traveler.
10-gallon hat.
Then I'll walk out. Are they still there?
No, they have dispersed. What you guys are seeing, though, I'm just going to kind of go through what is here, and you guys can stop me if something piques your interest that you want to kind of branch off into. You see a small building with a wide overhang that has shade and a few benches and chairs out front, and you see 3 old men picking on banjos outside. And on the door there is a hand, like, carved, like, whittled sign that says Physic. So it is like a doctor of sorts. You also see a trading post and a smithy, a ruined building that looks like it was once a church.
I'd like to check that out, please.
Okay, is everybody gonna go there then, or?
Nah, I'm gonna go talk to those old dudes.
Alright.
Yep.
Oh my god.
The church would come first. And then that would leave Quinn with the trading post, if you don't break off to either of those.
Well, I was gonna say that I would follow him to where the older gentlemen are sitting, but then probably go inside to see if there's a doctor around.
Well, we will start with the church, because the church would come first. So they're in opposite directions. So you would break off to the left, and the 2 of you would go to the right. The ceiling is mostly caved in, and while the church's 2-story steeple still stands, the bell that once hung within appears to be missing.
Is there anyone inside?
No, it doesn't look like it's been used for quite some time.
Can I look around, just poke around, see if there's anything out of the ordinary?
Sure.
Does an 18 pique my interest on anything?
Other than that, it just seems strange that a town that supposedly owes its entire existence to Desna has allowed the Church of Desna to fall into such disrepair, and seems as though it is not getting used. You don't see anything in here that gives any, like, indication of, like, foul play or anything like wrong or out of place. It's just fallen into such disrepair.
That's kind of what I thought when I saw the church. Is there like a holy symbol or of Desna anywhere?
Yeah, but it is smudged and dusty.
I want to pick it up and kind of, maybe buff it out and I'll come out into the street, just kind of fixing it up a little bit.
Yeah, Desna's holy symbol is a butterfly. So there would be like a butterfly effigy on the altar in the front.
Sure.
So you could kind of fix that up.
Okay, I'll take that with me.
Okay. And you guys are going to the doctor. So you're going to talk to the old guys,
Yes.
and you're going inside.
Into the building.
Okay. So the old guys don't pay any attention to you as you walk in. They just kind of like laugh to themselves really stupidly as you walk by.
Where might I find some of your finest hooch there, gentlemen?
You see one guy kind of look down to his foot and tuck a bottle of something under the chair that he's sitting on.
I see you hiding that. Don't bogart the sauce.
Well, why should we share with you, little guy?
I take offense to that. Don't say that again.
That's your first warning.
I call him like I see him.
I'll brandish my star knife and just like flash it at him.
Call man.
Make an intimidate check.
14.
That's enough. They're nothing special. They say, let's not be hasty here. We're just having a little fun.
I want to join in on the fun.
We're just a couple of long-toothed elders sitting out here and picking.
I want to join in on the fun. You just won't let me.
Ever play banjo?
No, but I play a mean jug.
Well, we better get to finishing the jug then. So they invite you to come sit down. They start passing the jug around, and they're each taking big swigs to empty the jug out.
Yeah.
Inside, there is a man. He is older, but he is he's in his old age, but he's not quite the
Decrepit.
the old decrepit seniors that are talking with Baron outside.
Does he see me walk in, or is his back turned to me, or?
Yeah, his back is turned to. He hears you walk in. There's a little bell on the door, and he talks while continuing to do his thing. He says, "What can I do for you today?"
I'm actually looking for someone. Hopefully he wasn't hurt. I'm just checking to see if maybe he came through here. In case he was.
I treat the whole town.
Well, this gentleman would have been an outsider, a visitor like myself. Short, scruffy, red hair. Maybe had too much to drink. Scars.
Can't say it sounds familiar. Don't know that I would have seen him unless he would have needed a haircut or a shave. Or got sick. But people don't get sick around here.
How so?
Just don't treat them much.
So they die?
No.
We just don't see them.
No, we're just not a very sickly village.
Well, I guess that's a good thing to hear.
It is.
Is that why you cut hair and shave on the side?
Yeah. You gotta make a living somehow.
I can respect that. I'm a cook myself.
I'm not one for the fields.
Nor am I.
He puts down what he's doing. You can see that he's like cleaning a pair of scissors. He turns around and he rolls his sleeve up and offers a hand to you. Says, "Name's Alexi Estok. Nice to meet you."
So his first name's Alexi? Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you, Alexi, and I'll extend my hand as well. I'm Quinn. Quinn Lanara.
However you want to pronounce it is fine. Sure.
Sure, man. Do what you want.
Yeah, I've turned it over to you. You can say and do what you want. It's like knowledge of art and like painting and stuff. He says, "Yeah, sorry I can't be of more help to you."
Well, that's okay. I appreciate. I appreciate you speaking to me. Everybody seems rather nice around the town.
Well, we get by. Don't see too many outsiders. It's always fun to see out-of-towners coming in and getting a look at what we do here without your fancy city folk amenities.
Yeah, we have some stuff that you guys don't have, but seems like life is peaceful out here.
It's a simple life. We farm, we play our music, we play our games, we love our families, and we love our Desna.
Same here. And I know I have a holy symbol on me.
Mm-hmm.
Can it be whatever I want it to be, or?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You actually have your holy symbol tattooed on you, I believe. I think I put holy symbol tattoo in your ear.
I'm sorry. Yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
So the arm that I reach out, I'll just kind of lift up my sleeve, and then my forearm will have the tattoo.
He says, "Always nice to meet another dreamer, member of the faith."
I very much agree. Actually, there is one thing. Sadly, the few people I've ventured in, they have accidentally scared a young boy, and him and his pet named Applesauce. Does that sound ring a bell at all?
Yeah, I know.
I'd like to apologize to his father, or Pa, as he had said, and just to make sure there's no harsh feelings.
Sure, you're looking for Vioric.
Vioric? Thank you. Do you happen to know where I might find Vioric?
You can probably find him at his house. If he's not home, he's out in the field.
Okay. And
Go back the way you came, over a small bridge. Vioric's house is on the left.
great. And do you happen to have time for a haircut?
Of course, got a few copper pieces.
How about a couple silver pieces?
Works for me.
I'm gonna cut my long hair.
So he goes to work. You tell him what style you want. And he gives you a quick, crude haircut. It's obvious that this man is not a hairstylist, but
Yeah.
Give me the Justin Bieber.
he's doing this to make a living more so than he is doing it because he likes it.
It's a decent haircut, though.
It's fine. And in the meantime, you guys have finished up your jug, and you hear one of the old men count. He's like, "Let's sing a song to Desna. 1, 2, 3." He starts picking on his
I
banjo.
guess I start stomping my foot and blowing into the jug as best I
Make
can.
a performance check. If you don't have performance, just add your charisma modifier.
-1. I won't re-roll, screw it.
Alright, using your reroll on a performance check.
13.
That's adequate. So, you, as you're getting your hair cut, you hear these old guys picking and singing outside, and then you hear this foot stomping. You can hear his armor clanging as his foot stomping and
So you're blowing
blowing in the jug. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
What was your first name?
Baron.
Aaron. So I'll say to the doc, I'm like, well, Baron seems to made himself at home drinking and singing.
You'll find that the locals are all pretty welcoming. But you can also find the locals can be pretty callous. They'll treat you the way that you treat them.
Well, hopefully, I try to do my best to treat everyone right, and hopefully they'll do the same.
Are you sticking around for the festival tomorrow?
There is a good chance that we are. I've heard that the roast tick is exquisite.
It's alright.
Oh, great.
Is there something else that you would recommend that I try instead of roast tick?
Well, you gotta try it. Local delicacy.
Well, I don't want to offend.
There's a hog roast, too.
I might lean that way a little bit.
Talk to the mayor, if you get a second. Andretti.
Andretti? Do you happen to know where I might find him as well?
Sure, you can find him in his manor. Northeast portion of town.
Thank you.
By this time, Elric, you have probably caught up to where the jug band is performing, and there's a rather large group of people who have just heard it, and they're coming out and gathering around and square dancing and yeehawing. And
I'll walk up to see what's going on and see Baron up there. Oh.
And Nyx, you would probably also be there.
Yeah.
So after the song and after your haircut, everybody cheers, and you come out to see the rest of your comrades, kind of just standing outside here.
Is 3 silver pieces adequate for the haircut?
It was more than adequate. He only would have charged you 5 copper pieces, so
So he should be happy.
yeah.
I'm gonna thank Alexi though before I leave, and tell him I hope to see him at the festival tomorrow.
I'll be there.
Hiccuping, I'm gonna ask the old gentleman if they've seen a short, stocky, ugly, red-headed looking fella around here.
Probably. I don't know. We don't pay much attention to what happens around here.
You just drink.
You seem like you spend a lot of time on this little bench here, but
Yeah, you can find us here most days.
you don't see the comings and goings around?
We see them, just don't pay a whole hell of a lot of attention.
Fair enough. Hiccup, hiccup. Here's looking out, gentlemen.
Join us anytime. So that would leave the trading post.
The mayor and father.
Yes. There's also a mill.
I'd like to talk to the mayor after I reconvene with you guys. I say, I can't believe they let the Church of Desna go into such disarray. I think we should.
Yes, it is a shame.
I noticed, but I noticed you walked out, so I figured you'd tell us what you saw in there. That's
They
weird.
put Desna to shame. It should be brought up with their.
She deserves
Leader.
better.
She does.
One of the old guys calls out, "Like the accent, white hair! Sound like a local!"
Just trying to blend in.
He lifts the jug to you.
You goat roping SOB.
Well,
I ordered a hat.
I'm really gonna fit it.
Is it a 5-gallon hat?
Didn't ask.
No.
If you'd like to go speak with Andretti, I'll speak with Virik and Bjork.
I'll go to the trading post.
Apologize. There's some.
Yeah, it's probably the best thing that we apologize.
And Elric, where would you like to go?
You going to the mayor?
Yeah.
I'll go with you to the mayor.
Alright, let's roll initiative then. Whichever of the two of you has the better initiative can just roll initiative for your group and then...
I'm last.
Alright.
Unless someone rolls worse than a 5.
11.
15.
Okay, so we'll go to you guys first. So you're going to the mayor?
Mayor.
To the Mer.
The Mer. America. So, the mayor lives in a large house. The locals would refer to it as the manor. It's not quite a manor that you are used to seeing, but it is a large house.
Okay.
It's a saltbox style house, and by far the largest home in town. It's built on a barren hill. It has a 2-story facade that slopes down to a single-story rear, with the large protruding chimney of a centrally placed hearth. The house seems inviting, and much better maintained than Ravenmoor's other buildings.
You think we should just go up and knock?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, like if you're gonna say anything, I'm gonna walk up and knock.
Yeah, can I detect magic on the house?
Sure. You don't detect anything magic on the house itself. However, you do detect a magical aura coming from the man who looks to be tending the garden in front of the house.
What's the property? Do we get to know that?
Yeah, it is not. It's just when you focus in, you can see that it's coming from the sickle that he's using to, like, cut the weeds back around the side of the house.
You go talk to the mayor, I'll talk to this guy.
I can wait to see what this guy says.
Sure. I'll go talk to the guy and be like, greetings, gentle stranger.
He stands up straight and he spits on the ground.
Oh, that's nice.
And he's a big, like, hulking guy, more fat than muscle. He's a, yeah.
What's your name, citizen?
Leonard.
Is your last name Skinner?
Oh my god.
Yep.
We got Leonard Skinner.
No.
Alright.
It is not Skinner. What's yours?
You can call me Nix, sir.
Alright. What's yours?
Elric, nice to meet you. Standing in the back.
Rather pretty men, aren't you?
Me? I know. As I blow my hair back.
If that's what you're interested in, I suppose. May I, see your blade there?
No.
Why?
What do you want to see his blade?
You can see he kind of like tightens his grip on it as he's talking to you.
No need to fight, just wish to inspect your fine craftsmanship.
Yeah, it's nice. Tucks it into his belt.
Well, he's a nice guy.
What's your job here? Are you the mayor or you the gardener?
I'm his brother.
Okay. Is your brother here?
Probably.
Did we just walk
this
in?
guy.
Did we not?
I could get him.
Sure.
Please do.
Yeah, I don't want to get him.
I'll, it's in your best interest.
Oh! Hold on!
Couple purty boys got no business around here.
Don't listen to this man. Alright? I got some gold.
He takes out his sickle.
I got some gold for you, if that helps. I'm not of the talking sorts, so
Well, I like gold. Makes me want to pound your face in less.
I like that, yeah.
Hey, come give us the sickle as collateral.
5 gold? Seems like a lot around here.
And we want to see the sickle.
It'll be enough to get your teeth fixed.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go over cautiously, watching for the sickle and 5 pieces of gold.
You can go inside. He's gonna go back to work.
Thanks.
Scam.
Whatever.
You got scammed by a simpleton.
Not the one that was about to get his face pounded in by a hoe.
It was a sickle.
Let's go.
So approaching the door, you can see this large knocker on the front of it, and you can see Leonard. You can see Leonard has not really resumed gardening. Like he went over to where the weeds were, but now he's just standing there, staring at you at the door.
I'll, with my -1 to strength, I'll try to bang it as hard as I can.
Okay.
Because I'm that way.
So it's a loud knock, and you hear a movement inside as someone comes to the door, and a younger, thinner, much more put together man opens the door, and he says, "Yes, how can I help you?" His accent is not thick. He seems like he's a very nice.
Are you Leonard's brother?
Andretti Kriegler. He bows to you. I'm the mayor of Ravenmore.
Do you want to write that down?
He's keeping
Let's see her.
stats. We, I think it is in our best interest to have words. Is there a place you wish to conduct such a ceremony?
Right here is as good a place as any. For me, I'm on my way downtown to make some festival preparations, but I can spare a few minutes.
Do you have anything before I start tearing into this guy?
No? Well, let's see. You do you.
So you won't let me intimidate the gardener?
He's dressed in really plain clothes. He doesn't have any weapons on him or anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, but his clothing is better taken care of than the clothing of the other citizens that you've seen.
Sure.
How I want to focus in on though, what's Leonard's attitude towards the mayor?
Leonard doesn't show much emotion at all.
Okay.
He's just
Is he still
standing there
staring at us?
staring awkwardly.
We could walk with you if and talk.
Yeah, certainly, that would be fine, but just... Leonard, please lock up for me. And Leonard...
I'm just gonna pat you on the shoulder. You can handle this. Be nice.
Be nice.
And then I'm actually gonna like step back a little bit, and I'm actually gonna watch like what the people's like emotions and reactions are when they're walking through town.
Okay. As you guys are walking to town, let's skip back to Baron going to the general store?
Trading.
Yeah, the trading post. So this building bears a sign that proclaims it to be the town trading post. Inside is a different story. It is a poorly stocked store at best. There are 2 people inside. A man who is wearing an apron, sort of like what you might expect a blacksmith to wear, and a beautiful blonde woman who is sitting on a stool behind what appears to be a counter.
I'm gonna blow the guy off and go to the hottie.
All right. He's busy, like, doing stuff. She's just kind of sitting there looking bored.
Hey, little miss.
She says, "Hello there."
Just got into town and I'm feeling mighty out of place, so can you deck me out in some of your finest country wear?
She says, "Well, you might want to go see Alizna. She can fasten you some clothes, I'm certain."
But I want you to.
I'm not much on a spinning wheel. If you need some farming equipment, I can help you there. She points to a shelf that has like 1 sickle on it and like just some broken ass stuff.
I'm here for a particular reason, actually. Have you seen a little short, stocky, red-haired dude that's not very pretty on the eyes?
Yeah, I saw him.
Is
Came from Magnamar, I believe.
Correct. Is he still here?
You know, I haven't seen him in quite a while.
What's quite a while.
A few weeks at least.
That's a pretty common. That's been pretty common from a lot of people lately.
The man kind of comes walking from the back. He's dirty and sooty. He says, "What you looking for him for?"
He's an acquaintance.
"Yeah, well, sorry, your acquaintance is gone."
We were told he had not left yet, though. From the ferryman on the way in.
I suppose that's true. Nobody saw him leave, but well, as much as that man liked to drink, wouldn't be surprised if he stumbled into the river and Water Wolf got him.
We need to find out for sure, though. We can't leave until we find a body. Or himself.
Well, if you're looking for a body, you might want to start in the river.
Do a perception on this guy. Or a sense motive. 15.
It would appear that he's being truthful and that he does not know these things.
Well, thanks for the help. Yeah, I'll be on my way.
Yeah, a rather nice set of armor you got there. You look like you might be carrying some gold. You sure nothing you need to buy?
I ain't no country bumpkin, so no farming for me.
Country bumpkin.
Oh my god.
Don't appreciate you making fun of my lifestyle. You can take your leave from my store.
I'll give him a wave and I'll be out the door.
Alright, and then we will go to Quinn with the Korzas.
our Christmas.
Horrible.
Hmm?
All our Christmas are horrible.
Yeah.
Makes sense how we're happy.
So, just as Alexi had described to you, there is a house over a small bridge on the left. It's the only house there. And there is a man out in the front with a well-groomed beard, wearing a hat to shield him from the sun as he works with a hoe in the garden.
I'll call Bjork.
He wipes the sweat from his brow and he says, "Yeah, I'm Bjork."
I'll extend my hand and say, I'm Quinn.
He gives you sort of a narrow gaze and he shakes your hand. Says, "You one of the outsiders that roughing up my boy?"
Actually, I'm the one that came to apologize for the one that did that.
Make a diplomacy check.
I'm gonna use my reroll. It's 20. You said diplomacy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20.
So he'll shake your hand and he'll say, I'm willing to forgive a man who comes with an apology like that."
So I'll shake his hand and I'll ask him how's applesauce doing.
He'll be alright. I understand. Sturges are weird pets for people not around here.
That is true.
Still don't see why I felt the need to attack him, but that's...
That
Well-
is also true.
We'll let bygones be bygones.
I appreciate that. Well, originally when I was talking to your boy there, what's his name?
Oh, you gotta make me look it back up. I forgot his name. His name is
Ornegard?
Ornegard, yes.
Sorry about that.
That's alright.
I thought it was something like that.
Sorry you forgot your kid's name.
I wrote it down, but
I did
Yeah,
too.
so did I. I just didn't look up far enough. Ornegard had actually directed us towards you as we were searching for someone who might be missing or hurt or, in all honesty, probably drunk.
Funny looking redhead.
Yep, that would be it.
Came into town several weeks ago during last month's Founders Festival. He didn't mix much with the locals. He spent most of his time talking to the mayor.
Sorry, Andretti.
I guess taking something about some taxes that we owed. So just judging by the mayor's reaction, it was quite a bit of money.
It is, yeah, I'll be honest, it is quite a bit of money, but we're more so just looking for his well-being as of right now. Not really, I don't necessarily want to collect, but we're just trying to figure out what's going on here.
Well, at last month's Founders Festival, Andretti gathered all the funds that he could, gave them to Elias, and Elias went back to Magnamar.
Really? Well, that's not good. Well, we talked to the Skander, the captain or the owner of the ferry out there, and he said he never saw Elias leave.
I suppose that's a little odd. Just from what I know, and from what everybody else I talked to knows, he got the taxes and he left.
Skedaddle. Did Mr. Andretti seem upset with him at all, or was he understanding?
We understand that we have to pay taxes, but it's hurtful to the economy of our small village when we have to pay a large sum of money like that up front.
I can understand.
You know, Magnamar would contact us more about the tax payments. We'd be happy to pay them. Just a bit frustrating. All our hard work has to go to waste like that.
I can understand. Maybe once we get everything figured out, we can work on something like that. Like maybe an ambassador or something can come here and figure out a yearly tax.
We used to send collectors all the time. Once a year we'd get a collector. And they stopped.
How long ago did they stop?
A couple years.
A couple years at least.
That's why we haven't sent the taxes.
Okay. Do you know, while Elias was here, was he staying at the mayor's house, or was he staying, do you have a local
Yeah.
tavern?
We don't have a tavern, we don't have an inn. Plenty of open ground to pitch a tent if you want to, but Elias didn't seem like he was a fan of the great outdoors.
I would agree with that.
Mayor's got a rather large house. He put him up for the time that he was here.
Okay. Well, it looks like maybe I'll go speak with the mayor and try to figure out what happened with Elias.
Sounds good to me. Appreciate you apologizing for my boy.
You're welcome. I hope that I hear the festival is upcoming, and I hope that we can all enjoy each other or enjoy each other's company. And
Tomorrow, once a month, Founders Festival.
I hear there's a hog cooking and some fried tick.
Sure is. Can't wait.
I hear it's a delicacy.
Don't know about a delicacy, but I do know it's delicious.
Looking forward to it.
So he shakes your hand again, and he whispers in your ear as he does so. He says, "You didn't hear it from me, but I heard a couple people close to the mayor talking. Said Elias was a drunk, took the tax money for himself, skipped town to Riddleport to gamble it away."
So I'll just say, well, thank you for the hospitality, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. No, I'll give him a slight wink.
Walking back to town with the mayor.
Yeah. I want to ask, about how long has he been a mayor here in Shadowmoor? Ravenmore. Shadowmoor. Shadow Raven.
He says, the Kriegler line has been mayor of Ravenmore since its inception as a village. I am without a wife or child of my own and the last of my bloodline. And I have been mayor since my father passed.
Now, how long ago was that?
It doesn't specify. It's probably since he's been an adult.
Yeah. I just kind of stop them and then, just kind of cradle my hands and just kind of So the uncomfortable question, two of them, Elias Kyle
Yes?
and the taxes to Magnamar.
Yeah, what about him?
For one, where's Elias? And two, when are we expecting payment to be given to us to deliver to Magnamar?
Well, Elias came here about a month ago, almost. He wasted no time making a fool of himself, ordering townsfolk around, making unreasonable demands, and he should have just come to me to begin with. I understand taxes are a part of life, and I understand that we haven't paid them for quite some time, but I am an honest man, and I had been storing them for the time that the tax collector would arrive. Once I learned he was here, I allowed him to stay in my home while we made preparations for the Founders Festival. It is a monthly festival that we have. I insisted he stay for the festival, just to see that Ravenmore is not the sleepy little village that he got the impression that it was. After the festival, I gave him the money, and he returned to Magnamar. Or at least, That's where he said he was going
On
with
the
it.
raft?
I don't know how he left.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sense motive.
He seems like he's telling the truth.
So, to means which we do not understand, Elias has not returned to Magnamar, and your taxes have not been paid. I don't know any other way to tell you this, but we were sent here to A, find Elias, and B, collect
I think we need
your
to find
taxes.
Elias first. And see.
He says, honestly, I'm not surprised to learn that. I've heard rumors that he took the money for himself and set out for Riddleport, in which case I fear the taxes are as good as gone, but the fact remains that we still owe you a payment. The two of you strike me as much more trustworthy agents. But I'm afraid we don't have the full payment available to pay the taxes again. I'll extend to you the same offer I extended to Elias, though. Enjoy the festival with us and tonight's feast. Stay in my home. I have many rooms, and I'll see what I can scrape together from the remains of the town's funds to pay at least a portion of what we owe. Perhaps at a later date, Magnamar might send you to Riddleport to find out what became of the scoundrel.
That may be our next destination.
Sounds like a good plan for now. Talk to our comrades.
Like, I half turn to talk away, and then I kind of gesture back, and I say, "Oh, one more thing. What happened to Desna's chapel over here?"
He says, yes, it's fallen into disrepair.
Have you no abbot to care for the building?
We don't. However, it is of my belief and the belief of my people that we do not need a building as proof of our faith. We do our worshipping on a place called the Stones. It is a much better place for worship, as buildings' roofs impede our view of the stars.
I can understand that desire. Possibly when you're finished, you could show us the stones. I'm very curious, as being of Desna myself.
Hold a master knife.
If you
I'd
wish
be
to,
interested in myself.
if you wish to meet me there tonight, perhaps you can help me lead a sermon before retiring to your quarters.
I am not of that sort of religious, but I have a friend who would definitely be able to lead a sermon for you.
We'll reconvene there then.
Where's this place at?
He says the stones are on the north end of town. You can't miss them. And if you do have trouble finding them, just ask one of the villagers where the stones are. They will point the way.
And they know him as the Stones. Okay. I gesture towards you, seeing if you have anything else to ask him. If not, I'm going to go try to find my comrades.
Sounds good. Nice to meet you, sir.
You too. I look forward to having you as guests at the festival.
Now, I want you. What did I notice as we separate ways? What did I notice, the villagers look upon him as?
Fine. They look at him not very different than they look at you. They take notice of him, and the ones that greet him, he greets as well. The ones that don't say anything to him, he doesn't say anything to. He seems like he's just going about his business. And at the far north end of town, there's a big fenced off area that has some plywood and stuff, and it looks like that's where the festival's gonna be taking place. And he just walks straight into there to meet up with some of the people that are doing setup stuff. Thanks for watching. Tune in to the next episode where these guys delve a little deeper into Ravenmore, and we'll see if it's just the sleepy backwater town it appears to be. I forgot the tagline. We'll see you at the table!